How you doing?
Good.
You going somewhere?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to England.
You know, we're going that way. We're taking the long route, but you know, if you want to come along, you didn't miss it. Unless you can think of something better to do.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
And now the passengers.
The 1920s and 30s saw massive growth in aviation, but nothing popularized air travel more than the Douglas DC-3. The first airliner to make passenger service profitable, its 8,000 pounds of useful load, short soft field capability, and 1,500 miles of range made worldwide flights of every sort possible. As war broke out, Douglas shifted production to military variants of the DC-3, namely the C-47. Between 1941 and 1945, almost 16,000 DC-3 variants were produced for military use, ranging from troop and equipment transports to air ambulances to jump ships and glider tow planes. Those serving in the European theater used the Blue Spruce routes between newly created air bases in Canada, Greenland, and Iceland to reach England. Post-war boom and technological innovation drove aviation to what it is today, and no airline set the bar so high as Pan Am.
Okay guys, so today we're taking this 1945 DC-3 from Manassas, ultimately to Duxford, England. Today we're going to Montreal, but it's just going to be an awesome time for you guys along for it.
Any loud bangs, vibrations, controllability issues, indications of failure, anything else you see that leads you to believe that there's something wrong with the airplane, just yell out a board, I'll bring it to a stop. After V1, we're going to take whatever it is flying with us. If it's an engine failure, let's plan on going straight. Questions, concerns?
No questions, concerns.
All right, let's do the vortex check.
Roger that. Watch your elbows here real quick. Flaps coming up.
Roger, will do. I apologize. Try to do my phone or whatever.
No problem.
First pull. It was locked.
Port takeoff checklist complete.
All right, back on the tops.
Roger that.
Here we go, 48 inches.
48 inches.
$25.
Got 46. 49. B1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Gear up. What'd you like for you?
Climb power, please.
Climb power. 36, 23.
Yes, sir.
So we're level here at 9,000 feet. We got, what, 65% power set. And now we're just going to record basically all of the parameters so that we can monitor trends, see what's happening with the airplane.
Really what we're looking for if anything changes. In engines like this, if all of a sudden oil pressure changes or oil temperature changes, it's usually an indication of something unpleasant, and we want to be on top of it.
Right.
Or at least we want to be able to explain it.
And that's something you want to do in any airplane when you're going across the ocean.
For sure.
Right.
So
it's just like having an actual engine monitor.
Yes. This is a 1945 engine monitor right here.
So yeah, as you guys have probably noticed by now, flying a DC-3 is a little bit different than flying something like a Bonanza.
Yep.
You know, it's a two-person airplane. There's a lot more systems, a lot more. I mean, it's a lot harder to do things like even just set the power. So in a twin-engine airplane like this, you know, one thing, and this doesn't have an automatic prop sync, is you have to get the propeller settings just right on each engine, so that you don't get this annoying little
the beat or the thrum, as people call it.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, now we got the cruise power set where we switched to the aux tanks. And so now we kind of sit back, relax, keep an eye on everything. monitor those trends every half hour. So the plan basically is we're headed to Montreal today. We're gonna go kind of hop over to the other side of Montreal tomorrow to go hang out with Mikey McBrien, see the DC-3. They're putting back together. Yeah, which is just crazy how fast they've been putting that thing back together.
Yeah.
Later tomorrow, we're gonna go up to Goose Bay, Canada. And then the following day, we're gonna go from there to Narsarsuaq, Greenland. Probably spend the night there. Depends a little bit on weather, because weather, particularly there, can get pretty tricky. A couple approaches that they have don't take you down very low, and you can get low ceilings, and it's very unpredictable too, being right on the coast there, and with high terrain everywhere. So we might spend the night there, or we'll just go straight on to Reykjavik, Iceland, which is otherwise we'll do that the next day, and then we'll go to Wick, Scotland, and Duxford, England. Yeah, so that's not bad. We're shooting out at about 172, 73, 74 knots. And we're just burning a little over 100 gallons an hour. It's pretty impressive for how much space there is in this thing and how many people you can carry.
Yep. It's nice to be able to spread out.
It's nice to be able to walk around. Well, I mean, one, it's nice to be able to walk around. Two, it's nice to be able to walk around and not have to duck your head or anything.
That's true.
And I guess, by the way, I should do some introductions. This is Eric.
How you doing tonight?
A 747 captain by day, DC-3 pilot
My real job, yep.
by night, or, this week, stuff like that. But, yeah, so he and Robert, who you guys also saw up here, are both PIC type rated in the airplane. And then we got a bunch of people who are SIC current or SIC type, stuff like that. But it's gonna be a lot of hand flying, on these kind of long flights over the ocean and stuff. So switching out people, and everybody's doing a little bit of flying here and there, or just relaxing in the back.
Yeah.
Left boost pumps on. Left main. And I'll go left boost pump off.
Perfect.
Now we're back on the mains. So I guess in this airplane there's basically, there are main tanks in kind of the forward portion. All the fuel tanks are on the inboard portion of the wing. The main ones are in the front, the aft ones are in the back. So the mains hold, 202 gallons each or something?
Yep.
And the auxes are just an even 200?
I think so, yeah.
Basically we have about 800 or maybe 804 gallons of fuel.
50-15, contact
So up to about 8 hours of endurance before the engines quit.
We're 9,000 feet. Tracking to Watertown right now. Correcting back a little bit. We're just hair off.
Okay.
You got the aircraft.
My airplane.
It should be, they fixed the right governor the other day. I should say replaced the right side prop governor, so we shouldn't have to worry about, like when you flew to Louisville the other day, having to resync the prop every time and everything like that. So imagine flying in all kinds of weather back in the 40s and 50s when these things were coming back around, setting up the airline industry.
Yes, sir.
So we actually switched a half hour early.
Okay.
Because of this. So it'll be interesting to see what the tanks really are, indicating 5 gallons on the right aux.
Okay.
And the left one is indicating 18, 20-ish. So again, we switched a half hour prior to our plan, just because it looks like we're burning significantly more than what we're planning on. But again, it'll be interesting to see what the actual tanks are indicating, so just to let you know.
Okay.
And we're coming up on an hour 15 out.
Make a quick head call, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, tell me when the doors close back there,
Why?
so I can wigwag them a little bit.
Okay. Okay, it is shut.
Thank you. All right. Just a little bit.
So one thing that's really nice about the DC-3 is it has a lab, and it's huge.
scared Matt with the seatbelt signs? You think he just plunked himself in a seat?
You're the one who said, hey, respect the seatbelt sign.
It's good to go gear down.
Gear down.
464, contactez départ en vol, on a décollé, puis 06 droite.
Posez décollé 06 droite, départ en vol, just 464.
Flaps full, landing checklist from the line.
Flaps full. Landing checklist from the line. Props set. Flaps full and set. Landing checklist complete. 90.
Yeah, give me about 2 inches, please.
You bet. Coming up to 24. 85 knots.
All right, I'm out the window now.
Rudge. Speed slowing.
Rouge 1522, line up runway 06, right?
Line up 6 right, Rouge 1522.
75. That stops with you.
Okay guys, welcome to Canada. We're here in Montreal and gonna put the plane to bed, just go to bed, get up tomorrow, fly over to the other side of Montreal, and then fly up to Goose Bay. So the hotel I stayed at last night had a Boeing conference going on. The hotel we're staying at tonight has an Airbus conference, and we're eating at a restaurant called Eclipse in a room called Altitude. It really doesn't get any more hardcore than this. Having some awesome poutine here in Montreal, some mushroom ravioli. It's fantastic. So it turns out the left engine was basically right on, burning about 58 gallons an hour, pretty much what we expected with the higher power settings. The right engine was burning about 71. So we think what happened is that these engines, basically the way the mixture control works is that there's an idle cutoff, there's an auto lean and an auto rich. It's not like you just, adjust the mixture continuously. So we think that basically it just sort of was stuck in auto rich, even though we moved it to auto lean for cruise. So they took a look at it, kind of adjusted the mixture a little bit, and hopefully that solves the problem. Okay, so we just fired up. Now we're going to make the quick trip over to the other side of Montreal. What, basically like found it in a field sort of thing?
eBay.
Okay.
eBay, that's where you find everything. But yeah, once we found it, we decided to, try to save it. This was December 28th when we made the official, go ahead. And yeah, so what are we now? 137 days later. And we're here and we're planning to fly for June 6th, which of course is the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And this thing was in D-Day. It's one of the last D-Day birds that is kind of lost, not restored or, flying over to Normandy right now. So we'd love to go to Normandy, don't get me wrong, but that would have been a huge... We would have had to put it on the 747 like a shuttle or something and bring it over.
Maybe if you get it done a few days early or something.
Yeah, we got a couple days. But we're gunning for the 100th. With the help from the school here, the Cole National Aerotechnic. Literally, I just showed up. I showed up with a sea cannon full of parts, my uncle and my girlfriend, and that was it. And then, so everybody that you see, all this hustle and bustle, is all people that, saw us and decided to come help. So
that's awesome. Very cool. We're getting some fuel here. The only problem is the fuel truck doesn't actually hold as much fuel as we need, so we're gonna fill it up. They're gonna go back, refill the fuel truck, and then we'll get some more fuel. Because this thing holds 800 gallons, and right now we need probably right around 700, maybe a little bit more. So when I looked at the meter on that pump, I thought it was like, you know, fairly slow, you know, especially when you're trying to get 700 gallons, but I didn't realize that the meter is also in liters, so it's actually really, really, really slow, and we need 700 gallons of the stuff. Casey's being a champ though, getting that fuel. So this A&P school that Mikey McBrien partnered with to do this DC-3 is pretty cool. They've got like a C-Series, Bombardier C-Series test vehicle to kind of play with, including the emergency use only toilet. But yeah, kind of an awesome program they've got here for people. Learn how to become mechanics and work on everything from a DC-3 to a brand new C-Series. And then back over here at the DC-3. Are we still on the first truck of fuel?
Yeah.
Still on the first truck. Okay, well, we're waiting for more fuel. I think it's time to break out some snacks. Oh yeah, there we go.
Basically what I'm calling you to tell you is that I have a concern about the new carburetor. You know, data coming in from the other operators is suggesting that these things are running 10 gallons an hour or more richer than expected.
So about 3 hours ago when we first called for fuel, as you guys saw, the first fuel truck wasn't enough. They still haven't come back with a second one. So we're going to end up staying here for the night because we're just kind of out of time, and you know, get a couple of fuel flow issues we want to be able to troubleshoot in the daytime tomorrow, you know, make sure everything's good to go. So we're going to stay here for the night, but even you know, just taxiing from one side of the airport to where we can park for the night is quite the task in a DC-3.
This is why pilots get paid by the hour.
That's right.
Because we got to spend so much time waiting on that oil temperature.
It's a hard time line.
And I guess, by the way, this is Robert Randazzo. He owns the plane. Flies this, Citation.
Former Jetstream pilot. I am rated the 747, but I don't have the life experience with it that Eric here does. But you know, imagine flying these things with no hearing protection.
Oh my God.
At all.
What's that?
So the fuel truck's here, right? On the taxi over here, we noticed that the left aux tank, which is full, was indicating it's only about half full. So Casey's up there taking a look to see what's going on there. So what does it do?
This is full, and you can push the thing.
Oh, okay. So as like the float moves, it moves that, it rotates that.
Basically, it rheostat.
Okay, that's cool. And so it was just kind of hung up in the middle there. So you just moved it around, and it.
Slider was a quick contact one or something, but.
Fuel gauge problem solved. The fuel truck has arrived. Are we fueled?
All fueled up, ready to go.
Finally fueled. So Kyle and I are here at this restaurant waiting for everyone else. The waitress brought like a couple things and said a few things in French, but we didn't really respond, and now she brought us 10 menus that are all in French, so we feel like at this point we can't even tell her that we don't actually...
We're committed.
Yeah, we're committed. We're
past the decision.
Can't make her bring another 10 menus in English.
Jump seat, which is like removable, is mounted floor right there, and it blocks access to the snack, and it's jammed and we can't get it out. Problem solved. Awesome. Thank you all.
d'appel. Et vous me dites à copier les instructions.
We nearly had to declare an emergency.
Uh-oh.
The jump seat was stuck and they couldn't get access to the snacks.
They
were going to take me hostage unless you agreed to go back.
There we go. Yeah, that'll do it.
You want a shovel?
Go ahead for 611.
611, next frequency 100 miles, 100 miles from Goose Bay Airport. Contact Gander Center on 120.4. And from this point now, you have left control airspace. You will re-enter about 100 miles from Goose Bay. So continue en route frequency today.
En route frequency 100 miles from Goose, contact Gander 120.4, Douglas, November 33611, thanks, cadet.
So you back at the 28 and 2050?
Yeah, were you? My conversation with Paul Baisley yesterday.
Right, was that the other ones were too high or he wanted to see that chart?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Awesome. How about you?
Not too bad.
Excellent.
See, we still getting some ice?
So we were getting some ice at 7, and then we went up to 9. We were still kind of in and out of it here and there, getting a nice little amount of ice. So finally here, we're on top at 11,000 feet now.
Yep, so we're in uncontrolled airspace, and I just clarified we can go to 13,000.
Okay.
See some mixtures and props here. Props coming up. That's ice coming off the props, it sounded like. You're going to get about 32 out of it now.
Okay.
12,000 for 13,000.
12 for 13.
All right, power's coming back. Go to about 28. All right, 28. Max power right now, and 2050. Cool.
Back to auto lean.
Back to auto lean. And what's going to be your route to go? Are you going South Dakota? How are you getting to Russia? 080 at 14 to 24.
Awesome.
Awesome.
A nice little direct
60.
I don't know that in Goose Bay things ever really get much better.
Yeah. Probably get what you get.
That was one thing I found flying around the world is, doing trips like this, with no alternates and everything, you got to be ready to, doesn't really matter what the weather's like.
That's right.
You're going to
Time
get
to get
there
your game on.
you're going to get what you get, and you got to be able to get the plane on the ground.
Right. Gander Center, good afternoon, Douglas, November 33611, 100 southeast of Goose, 13,000.
November 33611 Gander Center, squawk ident and standby 1.
Number 33611, you are radar identified 13,000. You're cleared of direct LOCRA.
Direct WAPA, could I get that phonetically, please, for 611?
611, that's Lima, Oscar, Kilo, Romeo, Alpha, Bedpost 6 for the runway 16.
Direct LOCRA, UPS, or correction, Douglas 33611. Gave it up there. LOCRA.
I'm just going to plug in the RNAV because that's what they're going to give us after LOCRA.
Perfect.
So
excellent.
Execute.
Load approach.
There we go.
And
direct LOCRA.
Direct to LOCRA.
Yep, and I guess go the course 064.
Yep. Is that ice?
Yeah, probably. It's coming off the props, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it every now and then. It's starting to fall off the airplane now.
Yeah.
Let's do the descent approach check.
Descent approach checklist. Exterior lights. Pulse lights are on. Hydraulic quantity. Is there even any there?
It's right at the bottom.
Right at the bottom. Checked. Hydraulic pressure checked. Nav radio set. Passenger signs are on. Approach briefing. I have no questions.
Yeah, it's complete.
Complete set and approach checklist complete.
Gear down, please.
Gear down.
Once that's done, you can go right to half flap.
Roger that. Half flap. Landing checklist to the line. Landing gear.
Down and latch, handle neutral. Pressure's up, green light, the gear's down.
Down and latched. Handle neutral. Pressure up, green light, gears down. Mixture's coming to auto rich.
Okay, exit on 26 and then Bravo, ground 121 to 19. Right, 26, left in Bravo.
Boost pumps on. We are to the line.
Right.
Airspeed 85. 90. Plus or minus 5. 9. 5. Got the tops with you. Rolling it in. Nice job.
Very nice.
It's not over yet. I got the tops.
Okay, we made it to Goose Bay. This is kind of the first real leg, you know, just out over some really remote terrain. 5 hours and 18 minutes, I think. So a lot of time in the air, making sure everything works, and you know, kind of getting ready for the next leg to Greenland and then on to Iceland. Pretty nice. Here, they actually have a fuel truck with 2 hoses, so we can fuel both sides at the same time, and it's not nearly so slow. We're still getting it right away though, so that as soon as we are ready to go, we can do that. One small snag. It turns out that tomorrow is a holiday in Greenland, so they want like, I think it was $3,800 to come in tomorrow. But we can come in on Saturday, but then if we leave on Sunday, they're closed on Sunday, so that's like $1,500 or something. So we gotta figure out what we're doing next, and they might just get a whole lot of money either way because it's Greenland and it's in the middle of nowhere, and they can kind of charge whatever they want, and yeah. Also, it's just really beautiful here. Like, it's kind of crazy. We're just in the middle of nowhere. This used to be a pretty big military base starting in World War II. That's what we're doing. We're going for the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And this is the route that those DC-3s and C-47s took back in, you know, in the 1940s. But yeah, I mean, we got a Norwegian 787 that lost an engine on the way in with some passengers, so they're here getting that changed. But I mean, it's just, we got mountains and snow and trees, and it's just awesome to be here. It's so cool to get to see this stuff. We stuck the fuel tanks. The fuel tanks matched what we expected, what the gauges were showing, what we planned on burning. Got some covers over those so we don't get any water in overnight. These things take like constant maintenance. So one of the intake manifolds is leaking a little bit of fuel, so they're replacing a gasket there. There's actually a little bit of damage from some of the ice we got today. A little piece flung off the propeller and kind of chipped the paint. I'm not going to worry about that for now, but you know, always something on these things. We just checked into the Hotel North 2 here in Goose Bay. The original Hotel North was booked. So now we're gonna go check out the Jungle Gym eatery, the place that, another place that was recommended. What was it, the Trap Hunters? Apparently it used to be good. No one was there, so we're not gonna try. Okay guys, just woke up to find this. So I don't think we're gonna be going anywhere today.